Thanks, Discount Dan, for the 20 pennies. But yeah, this is my full-time gig, so people throwing bits in the chat literally pay my rent. So, appreciate you guys. I'm gonna go refill my tea. Damn right. So this fortress, Longdeath, is currently on year 434, meaning.
Another hour for your rent.
Thanks for the dollar, Peak. Appreciate you, man. This dwarf fortress, this fort is 429 years old. Because we started on year 5. This fortress is very slow. This fortress is very mundane. We do get attacked by humans sometimes who we set on fire. They generally don't live too long. But you know, it's Dwarf Fortress, so this is the setup that we have. No tightly closed door. We try and exterminate cat populations generally too, Putnam, so it's generally not an issue. But I do have beehives which stay all the way up here so they don't sting anybody. This is like 15 Z levels above ground level. This is all constructed and just like hovering. We have this lovely tavern. We're currently in mid-autumn, which means I hope I turned those pumps off. Yes, I did. Then we have this little tavern, or in kind of the central area here. Raised above the tavern in the middle is our temple. Over on the right, we have the currently mayor's, but previously king's dining room before the king passed away. Over on the left, we have the library, and then the old throne room, which is that massive thing. And then in the middle of the screen, there's a lava tube. You missed the co-host stuff. How was it? I think it went great. I mean, chat, how do you guys think the stream went today? I think it went pretty well. We made progress. We made a tavern. We made some other stuff. Stuff got made. An artifact got built. We didn't steal anything from anybody this time. We were good dwarves. But you know, bees are vermin, which makes them more like items than anything. Sure, until they start stinging everybody. Although stinging everybody does like help train your doctors. So as I go down into this giant hole, you'll eventually notice that right here, kind of in the center of this fortress, we have a bunch of letters. These are, we have a minotaur, we have giants. They were elsewhere previously. Previously, those animals lived in this maze. However, turns out having a completely useless labyrinth, while awesome in theory, is a little bit annoying. So it does still have some big critters in it, like there's a forgotten beast over there that could theoretically be released. There's a giant in there and another minotaur. But up here on the surface, we have these lovely set of cages as a zoo. Must rest for Q&A. Go take your nap. Do what you gotta do. Completely understand. It's a bit sluggish, but you find that usually games are a bit sluggish, but I find it usually is in games where you would be making other choices. Wait, what do you mean? Oh, the first stream was a bit sluggish. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, no, I mean, learning Dwarf Fortress is a process, right? And it's a process of banging your forehead against it until you understand everything. And then, like, you know, we have this thing, and then we have this tunnel filled with lava that goes all the way down to the lower levels down to here, where we pump the lava all the way up to the surface to fill this glass tube, which took me like 100 years to build. I did take my time with it, and I only had about 10 dwarves working on it at any time, so. To trying to manage 200 dwarves, start off with like 80. Don't necessarily jump all the way into the deep end right away. I mean, this fortress, also for clarity, has 47 dwarves in it. 36 livestock, bunch of random people around the edges, and then, 16,452 dead. The body count has gotten a little silly, especially since the humans started invading us. So, you know, it's fine. We're peaceful. They attacked us. It's their fault, okay? Kind of how you mentioned that it would be paused in making bedrooms if it was me. I mean, yeah, no, I mean like these are my bedrooms around the edges here, right? And it's like if I'm building bedrooms, like game's paused. Like if I'm constructing stuff, it's like I pause the game and just build stuff for a while. The living dwarves in the fort currently are Dragon, Volleyball, Tygozar, Anonymous, Fight Attack, Lethargicist, Anthony, Malden, Disco, Havoc, Diamond Destruct, Ayer, Aquafunkalistic, Booty Wap, Lamund, Cannon Fodder, Mist, Lilim Katsu, Zindros, Bloodcat, Hoshan, the Skoid, Rory, Stone, Paranoid Metroid, Arch, and Deadliest Inyeko, followed by Jimmy Tibby, Pilot, Shenryon, and NetJam Jr., and Mr. Mac Poimu, and Erie Brella, and Curses, and Rolf, Navy, and Farana. Worth noting, of course, that Jimmy Tibby over here, this dwarf was as depressed as he possibly could be at one point, and has completely come back from it. It's a long list of death. It's a long death, literally and figuratively. The dead count is insane. Yes. When you keep a chat alive, when you keep a fort alive for 400 plus years, that happens. Oh yeah, you reminded me about the personal discovery of making a semi-mega beast to join your fort, and Minotaur is attacking your enemies, but in a squad possible. Wait, really? You had a mega beast petition to live with you? That's crazy. Speaking of depressed dwarves, we also have this one. Pilot's a sad boy, unfortunately. He is 18 years old, so, you know, I was a pretty sad boy at 18. Of course, the kid of Finian and Yushvir, probably sad because both of his parents are dead. Maybe he's Batman. But you know, he can't go fully insane because he's made an artifact, fortunately, but getting there. Since predicting the branch correctly is 99% of the time, it's going to say a dead unit and uncaged. It's probably not hitting the funny edge case where the game gets slower if you've approximately equal amounts of alive and dead dwarves. What? Ironically, having that many dead units might make the game faster. Really? Huh. I have no idea how the inner workings of that sort of stuff works. All I know is that this fort largely runs fine. This fort does occasionally run into like weird bits where like the frame rate will just tank down to nothing, and it'll sit like that for like 30 minutes and then it just comes back. But generally it sits around 30, actually. They're trying to flood the underworld? You can't. For redacted reasons, the redacted glowy stuff in the redacted area underneath the redacted, when you dig through the redacted, is infinitely eats water. So good luck. I flooded the underworld with an ocean once, and it didn't work, unfortunately. I was quite disappointed. Usually, if the frame rate tanks, it's because there's like a wild out. Actually, the last time the frame rate tanked, which was the other day, the reason for the frame rate tanking was there was an owl in here that just flew in there, and it kept like dwarves are trying to pass through here because it's the priority zone. Dwarves are trying to pass through there, and they were like getting spooked by the owl, and so I killed the owl, and the frame rate went pop, came back. So, I mean, this fort's weird. It's also on an older version of the game too. So, like, this is before moods got easier to deal with. Is there any chance I can send a raid because fun? I could swap forts and send a raid, but I can't do that in this fort. This fort, I'm not attacking anybody because I only actually have about, actually, where's this button? 36 dwarves that I could theoretically add to a squad, and 7 of those are children, so I'd be sending 30% of my fortress to go attack something, which no, I'm not going to do in this fort. But to give you an idea of what it looks like, it's essentially just like, goes to this screen, you see them, go to the location, and then you get a list of what happened. What would be much more exciting would be if the humans were to attack us, which would be awesome. Is here adult only? I say bad words like fuck, so theoretically, yes. So if you're like 12, you probably shouldn't be watching this stream. So you don't see it play out when defending? No, you are like the custodian of a fortress at far distance away. I mean, I don't care how old you are. That's not relevant, but just don't tell people how old you are on the internet. That's it. But yes, this is act like an adult stream. So pretend that you're an adult and we'll be fine. Otherwise, Yeah, so when you get attacked by things, you do the fighting. When things attack you, you don't do the fighting. Or sorry, the other way around. When things attack you, you do the fighting. When you attack things, the dwarves do the fighting and they tell you how they did. Which is why I had a dwarf in another fort yesterday go off to attack a different location. And came back and was like, guess what happened? And I was like, what happened, dwarves? And they were like, one of our guys got killed by a camel. because that was the only thing in that location was a camel. And I guess it was a really well-trained camel. And it crushed one of my dwarves. So... to give the role to a semi-mega beast and then accept the death before the lives and the small advanced civ to walk towards the retired civ depending on it. Wow. Okay. Interesting. I didn't know you could do that. I learn something every day. Just like I learned yesterday that dwarves don't have fingers or don't have thumbs. They just have 5 fingers. There are no thumbs in Dwarf Fortress. Just fingers. So they have a 5th finger instead of a thumb. And this bothers me greatly. Level 60 camels of dwarf destruction, pretty much. And also, yes, that too. If they lose all... well, I'm assuming they hold it like stubs, like this. Do humans have thumbs? No. Nothing has thumbs. They just have fingers. And this is terrifying. Also, which makes a lot of sense why you don't need right and left hands. It's like Powerpuff Girls, exactly. Thumbs are a kind of finger? Okay, but when we're not specifying the difference between finger and thumb and just stating 5 fingers, do they have 5 thumbs? 5 fingers? 2 thumbs? 3 thumbs? Just fingers? One of which is labeled as a thumb. We were looking at the raws yesterday, and we couldn't find any mention of thumbs, just fingers. Finger, 5. It's all pinkies. It could be. It very well could be. What's our manager want? Not much. Can grip equals opposable thumbs? Sure, you said thumbs with an S. How many of those fingers are thumbs? All I know is I've been having nightmares about this for the last 48 hours. Just constant existential crisis and dread. Because I really would like to know, like, exactly what a dwarf's hand looks like. I mean, I guess theoretically, the logical response is, you know, they look like these from this very official artwork. So clearly, like, they have thumbs. But, like, they're also holding a torch in this image, and there are no torches in Dwarf Fortress. So I don't even know who to trust now. Like, truly. No idea who to trust. Torches confirmed in that image. Wagons carry their animal pullers. Oh, yes. Also, wagons are an endangered species that can't breed. Wagons are a very rare creature, okay? Respect your wagons. Also, don't mind the human's corpse in my crushing pile. Are just 3 riders on the wooden mount? Yep. Did I play the Steam version of Dwarf Fortress? No, I was watching Alexandra, who is the Kit Fox community manager and the lovely lady voice on the Kit Fox stream. She was playing. I was simply watching while backseating. But I play too much of this version, so I know how this game works way too well. I have a So, Chet, we need a really, really, really good David Attenborough sounding person to make a bunch of Dwarf Fortress videos about, like, how wagons work. This is a wagon in its natural habitat. Someone just, like, yell at Krugs and be like, can we please get a David Attenborough parody? Thanks. Sir David Attenborough, I guess. You can do a David Attenborough RLS? Also, hey, Tyga, what's up? Imagine a ball with fingers sticking out in random directions. Oh, God, kill me. Oh, God, kill me. All I'm saying is just having 5 fingers specifically opens up a lot of options for artistic variety in how hands in Dwarf Fortress are formed. Coffee part 2. Put a word in with Krug. You would 100% use your voiceover for something like that. I mean, I could just add him. I could just DM him on Discord. Just be like, hey, Krug, want to make some David Attenborough parodies with a bunch of dwarf tubers? That could be fun. Yes, please. Absolutely. Terraria is on your mind. Should Terraria and STA to Dwarf Fortress collab? What do you mean? Like, Urist is now a talkable character in Terraria. I mean, I'm not one of those people who's like, these people should collab, because I think people should collab if they know each other and are friends and get along. So I'm not going to say people should collab with people. Although, Deep Rock Galactic needs more Dwarf Fortress references. Well, I mean, Cataclysm's an open source thing, so that makes things weird. I personally, I want a Dwarf Fortress Caves of Cud collaboration. What doesn't need? I mean, to be fair, like, Borderlands has DF references. One of my favorites, actually. I don't even like Borderlands. How's this dwarf doing? Satisfied learning about stone crafting. I'm hoping somebody makes a Caves of Cud overhaul mod for Dwarf Fort, just because I want to see what a handy nuke would do in Dwarf Fort. Does it? I'm not a, Gatsby, I'm not a Terraria person. I bounced off that game super hard. Super hard. Is adding cars to Dwarf Fort? I mean, just name wagon to car and name the things that pull the wagon wheels. Done. Problem solved. Just name wagon to car and make it a rideable mount. You sadly must be off to bed. Alrighty, Stone. You snooze well. Hope you enjoyed the first half of the day. Today's gonna be such a short day for me. For reference, I normally stream like 12 to 14 hours a day. Adding motorcycles as packet. Actually, the Star Wars mod for Dwarf Fort has speeder bikes, which is fun because you can tame speeder bikes. Anyway, you tame the speeder bikes, and then they make speeder bike babies, and those are mountable, rideable creatures. It's really funny when it's just like, a kill, and then your speeder bikes just fly out and murder a bunch of stuff. Menaces with spikes of mole and is encircled with bands of nitro. Yes. You're okay not knowing this? The funniest thing to me about the Star Wars mod is that some of the droids can breed. Don't forget the Long Night and its crazy mechs. Absolutely, and a Long Night's also a bonkers mod. Like, that's something I really hope that the Long Night gets updated and also gets a. There's two mods that if I could just sit here and be like, please get a full tile set and an update. There's two mods that I really, really want to see updated and get full tile sets. The Rise of the Mushroom Kingdom mod, because Mushroom Kingdom, here we come. And also, the Long Night. Because there's something about just, like, summoning earthquakes in the Mushroom Kingdom mod. And also, like, a Yoshi walking in from off map and just, like, ripping the arm off of a toad and eating it. Which is, like, blood spraying everywhere. And it's like, oh, God, the violence! What's up, Dwarving? Car mods in adventure mode is fun since you can just walk up to a car and claim and ride them. Pretty much, yeah. The speeder bike scenes were rather tragic. Car. Tragic speeder bikes. Also, note, it is pelting rain inside of the fortress right now because this fortress is a giant hole in the ground. Dwarves don't get that mad about rain. Y'all can calm down about rain. It's actually nowhere near that big of a deal these days. Any questions I'm excited to ask Tarn? I mean, okay, so I normally get about 100 to 150 question submissions. I had 300 for this one. It took me 4 hours to go through all of them last night. I ended stream at it was like 9 p.m. I went to bed at 1:30 in the morning. Although I am excited to ask Tarn about fingers. And on the item is a manual called The Pulley Questioned, authored by Max. It concerns the construction and use of the pulley. It's not awful, but not very good either. So it's a crappy book about pulleys. Airman Trout? What about Better Call Saul? Kind of. I'm gonna ask him anyways. I want to know what math went into the result of that. You know. Clino, how did the stream go from your perspective, though? I think it all went well. You wondered last night if your sanity would hold out with those questions. Some of them avoid. I mean, you know, I could like just go like Control F multiplayer delete, which is not too bad, but it's fun to read through them. Not to be mean to people, but like there are certain questions that are like either extremely well known the answers of within the community to the point where there's no point in asking them, or just questions that are like absolutely not relevant, right? And you know, there's some things like people asking about, will Dwarf Fortress ever have co-op? It's like, well, multiplayer for Dwarf Fortress works in a cycle. Once every year or so, some crazy modder sets up a solution to sort of make it work. And then everybody else jumps on it, gets really excited and tries it, and then moments later realizes that it's no fun whatsoever. Nobody actually wants to take part in it, and then stops playing, and then gives up, and then for a couple of months to years later, then it happens again. You know, you always have to watch him later, but it seemed good. Well, that's good that it seemed good. So, bridge come down. Bonk. Pull the water lever. You've led the charge on this multiple times? Led the charge of multiplayer will never work, or led the charge of we need multiplayer? The multiplayer memory hole is insane. I think it's actually just like the natural churn of player base, right? Like how many people stick to a game longer than a couple of years? Yeah, except it will never happen. Badinsky. How do I think this fortress will die? I don't think it will die. Because I am keeping it alive for 1,000 years. I won't let it die. The only thing that could really kill it would be literally running out of dwarves in the world. And I don't expect that to happen. I mean, then at that point, you might as well just share a save file, Slim, right? Like, the optimal way to play Dwarf Fortress with friends is to simply send your friend the save file, right? And if you're taking turns, then just send your friend the save file. But I guess theoretically, you could do something like that. Yeah, also that's another thing that I deleted a lot of questions about, were questions about myths and magic. Because it's like, yes, myths and magic is fun to talk about and kind of cool, but it's also probably a couple years away. And you know what's happening in 2 weeks and not in a couple of years? Premium's releasing. Set for Squander's work is probably painting Eldritch Horrors versus reading Eldritch Orders. I don't think it'll be so bad. Boat questions? I actually didn't get a single question about boats. Now that you mentioned it. I didn't get a single question about boats. This month has gone by fast. Well, I mean, for reference, if you're ever curious about when Dwarf Fortress is coming out, and you forgot, and you need a very quick and fun and exciting way of reminding yourself when Dwarf Fortress is releasing, simply go to twitch.tv/Gremlin for Mayor, and you will get a live countdown with a chat room and a bot that directs you to the right place. So, and sometimes the background here is animated. For some reason, it's not right now. Aqua, you might need to fix that. But, Go give Gremlin for Mayor a follow. Because all hail Lord Gremlin. But yes, this month has gone by real fast. We've gone from like 30 days to 7 real quick. Always vote for Gremlin. The Gremlin just wants to pull your levers. He's here to pull your levers and push your buttons. Definitely doesn't have your worst interest at heart. There's a number of artists on the official tile set. A good number of artists is the easiest way to put it. I'm gonna dig up a little room here. Make a little two doors. Let's do this. We're gonna put some mason shops up there. Use those to make obsidian. Wait, what's broken? The background on the Gremlin for Mayor stream is not currently animated. It's seized. Unless you did that intentionally. Okay, 12 games talk is over. Starts in an hour and 20. So can I dig these? Yeah, I guess not. So the way I'm going to have to do this is I'm going to have to dig this down one further, or raise this up one further. We'll raise it up one further. It's not too difficult to do. Why is my phone vibrating? Lots of reasons. I'm going to mute my phone. All right, so what I'm going to do is we're going to dig up one layer higher. How do I want to do this? Do I want to do it with ramps? Should be fine. Let's remove this. I noticed. Also, Gremlin for Mayor is about to hit 50 followers. So if anybody wants to be Mayor Gremlin's 50th follower, I'm just saying. We got to promote this. We got to make it grow. Oh, that the Gremlin for Mayor background wasn't animated. How? Where? What? Hey, Sniper. What's up, dude? It's also a great place to get drinking industry 24/7. It's all part of Gremlin's master plan. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to remove that. We are going to place another stair here. Yeah, and also I learned today that stairs are now automated, so you don't need to be specific about up, down, and all that crap. You can just like be, oh, I want to place stairs, and they'll just build stairs, which I'm very excited for. It's going to be really nice to not have to queue up, down stairs anymore. Because currently I have to do it like this. It's the single best news you've heard about premium. That's the best news? I don't know about that. I think for me, the best news is that Goblin Thong Rod is no longer going to be a cultural problem. I think, I want to say it's pinned in the engraver's wall. Hold on, let me look. For the Dwarf Fortress art, to use as backgrounds and stuff. What do you see with glasses? Is it still good enough to enjoy the game visuals, or is it blurry? So if you're asking about my eyes, I'm legally blind. My right eye doesn't work at all, and I have severe tunnel vision in my left eye with floating blind spots. I have coloboma of the retina and the iris in both eyes, which essentially means that I don't see well, but games like Dwarf Fortress are easier for me to follow than like Fortnite or Overwatch or a first-person shooter or Warframe. Like, games like Dwarf Fortress are really easy for me to parse because it's very static. It's just brightly colored, simple symbols. In fact, to the point where I think that Premium is going to be harder for me to follow visually than Classic is. Like, ASCII is, like, the easiest thing for me to follow. It's super simple and clear to me. Especially, like, ASCII tile sets like this that are really clean. But when it comes to super detailed graphical tile sets, they become significantly more annoying to me. Unless you do 2 layers of stairs and then stop, and then do 2 other layers of stairs and stop, then you have to make 2 sets, which was amazing. Yes, yes. Yeah. I said Goblin Thong Rot is not a problem in... So they're okay. For those of you who are uninitiated, in this version of Dwarf Fortress that I'm playing right now, right? If I murder a bunch of goblins, or a bunch of anything, really, elves or goblins, generally, they might be wearing thongs or loincloths. Now, thongs and loincloths are great. They're underwear. The problem is dwarves can't make underwear, right? So if a dwarf equips underwear, then they go, oh my god, I have underwear. And then they gain the ability to equip underwear. Now, this might sound great, but the problem is when clothing gets old, it rots off your body, right? It just eventually gets holes in it, it gets raspy, it turns into threads, and it falls off. Now, this is one of the worst mood debuffs you can give to a dwarf. Troop and Panda, thank you very much for the 9 months. Jack, can I get a round of beers as a thank you? So the reason this is a problem is because when dwarves... When dwarves are... wearing a piece of clothing that they can't reproduce and make more of, the problem is it gets old and tattered and it rots off their body. So after a battle is over, with goblins, let's just say, you allow them to go gather up all of the remains. They grab all the clothing bits and all the armor and stuff that they can make normally, and they put that away and they equip it and whatnot, and then they put on the underwear. And then it rots off their body, and they freak out because they can't get more. So you have to fight more goblins. So it's this self-repeating addiction cycle and psychological warfare of destroying all your dwarves' moods. Which is hilarious. But also game-breaking as hell. So apparently it's been fixed and won't be an issue in the next version. It is an issue in this version that I'm playing right now, but in the version that'll be out in 2 weeks, it theoretically, apparently, won't be an issue. You did not know that? Yeah, if unless you like go into your raws and make them buildable, it's literally like game-ending psychological warfare in Dwarf Fort previously. So, I mean, if it's a shit post, you could post it on memes in my Discord. We have basically a shit post room for that. How old is Longdeath today? 434, so 429 years old. Saves are not transferable between 47 versions and premium and the next version, if that's what you're asking. However, if you have a save in the classic free version of the game, you will be able to move that save from the classic free version with the new update to premium. But if you have like a save that you've had for a year and a half, yeah, that save is defunct. It's been in the Age of Myth for up until actually I think it might have moved to the Age of something else. I want to say I think I don't know. This fortress is too old, man. So Osmosis Jones, depending on the population of a world, the age changes. So it could be the age of humans, the age of dwarves and goblins. It could be the age of myth. It could be the age of legends. It could be the age of death. It could be the age of nothingness. It could be the age of fairy tales if there's only humans alive and stuff like that. So Age of Myth is the most common. Age of Heroes is also pretty common. The menus you saw on stream today with the click boxes, names, and sections, those UI changes will be in the free zone. So apparently it's not in the version that we were playing, but this is the early mock-up from July of what the free game is going to look like. So you might recognize these menus from today. I have no idea, Uncle Gus. I'm going to be asking Tarn today. We just know that it's stabilized, air quotes. My guess would be they just can't equip underwear now. But anyway, so yeah, this is what Classic is. This is what the free version will look like once it's updated. Let's see if I drop any dwarves to their death from here. Probably not. Probably will be okay. It'll probably be okay, right? Come on. Let's cancel that. There we go. Hey, curses. Mouse support and free. Yes. Mouse support, tutorials, all of the quality of life improvements moving to free. What you're not going to get in the free version are the graphics and the music. Curses was taken by a Fey Mood. Speaking of curses. How are you feeling about DF Premium actually being out on release? How are you feeling about DF Premium actually being out on the release day? What kind of a question is that, Pink? What? And you'll let your son try free before I buy? He likes RimWorld? Gotcha. I mean, you could use, theoretically, you could just use family sharing. I mean, like, I'm assuming you both, like, live in the same space, so you could just use family sharing. Probably need to kill an animal. What do you need, kiddo? Raw green glass. Oh. Kid wants raw green glass? Interesting. I definitely have raw green glass, right? Although, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm going, is that in the gems menu? Where do they even have raw green glass sorted in Dwarf Fort? Regardless, I have glass stuff. I can just make it. This is like playing Dwarf Fortress right here. It's just, you just lose track of things. All right, well, let's just do that. Let's keep some raw green glass. What else do you need, kiddo? Hand hides we have. Rock we have lots of. Bones. And no, I don't want to slaughter the emus. Those are important. Unicorns it is. This is why you trade with elves, chat room, is so that you can have some unicorns. You missed the Kit Fox stream when you were asking you if the game seems ready or if it might be delayed. They wouldn't have announced a release date if it would be delayed. I'm just going to be blunt with you. I think that the chance of Dwarf Fortress getting delayed is a 0 out of 100. Your elves never bring unicorns? To be fair, it took me about 100 years to get a proper breeding pair. Proper breeding pair. Also, I don't have a, like, notification for it, but I just want to say thanks to everybody who's followed the channel, because there's a bajillion of you. I completely lost count. Like, it's a lot of follows, so thank you. Thank you very much. But I try and keep the notifications on the stream to a minimum, unless absolutely necessary. Like, you know, when people throw money at my face. Like that. And Sam Freeze, thank you very much for that Prime subscription. We're going to go watch Paranoid Metroid. Go make us some glass. Who's very depressed, by the way. This is a very sad dwarf, but we'll be fine. We'll get by. Did you just go grab a bag of sand from... Wow. From a trade depot? I guess we did. No, absolutely, NG Matt. I mean, like, you know, you can always, if you want to support the devs financially for Dwarf Fortress, like, you can always just donate money to them via PayPal or Patreon, which is, I go with Patreon generally, and sometimes I'll chuck them some extra pennies via PayPal, but, you know, there's always the option for that as well. If you just want to keep them funded directly, that's a way that you could do that. But also for anybody who's just wondering when, hour and 10 minutes is when Bay 12 chat starts. And hopefully Tech makes it home from work in time this time. Because last time he was like literally walking into his house as we were starting, so. All right? So we've made a piece of glass now. Kiddo's running off. See what Kid goes for. A little strange mood here. But yeah, no, I mean, there's lots of improvements that, like, you know, like, I think one of the initial things that I saw criticisms-wise for Premium DF was just like, oh, no, you're going to alienate the old guard, right? Like, people aren't going to like it or whatever. But I think the reality of, like, Premium is it's maybe going to alienate a few folks who've played this game too long. But in reality, I think that the benefits of the quality of life improvements are going to vastly outweigh the issues that some people take with it. So it's like, for me, like, yeah, there's parts of the old hotkeys that I'm going to miss. Like, there's definitely features I'm going to miss, but I can't wait to just be able to build a wall over top of a floor. I can't wait for, like, stairs to be more streamlined. I can't wait for construction and rooms to be more streamlined. I can't wait for any of that. Like, it's, even though certain parts of the game I think might end up being slower, other parts will be faster. You're not familiar. It's funny because, like, I'm a very nice person until I'm not, but I can get crunky some days, but I've done my best today. I think that the stream went quite well, though. You know, 2 hours, we made a tavern and a temple and butchered an animal in the temple. Proper sacrifice to the artifact gods, right? Yeah, walls on top of floors, Nezul. Walls on top of floors. But yeah, if you're curious about me and the stuff that I do, I've been full-time on Twitch since 2016. And I also do stuff on YouTube. On YouTube, VODs go up daily from my Twitch streams, but there's also... I do videos about Dwarf Fortress as well as other indie games. So I follow the Steam version absurdly closely to a point where it's like kind of a problem. But also there's, you know, 7 other like full-length interviews with Tarn, and in some cases Zach and Tarn, where we talk about Dwarf Fort, as well as many interviews with other game devs and other interesting stuff, which you can find right here. So, you know, if that sort of thing interests you, if you're not familiar with my work, that's a good place to look, just to give you an idea of what I do. It deconstructs the floor and constructs the wall in its place as of last time I spoke to Tarn about it. So, that. So what I want to find out in science is if I build like a wall, if I build like a bunch of floors, like kind of like a walk the plank kind of situation, and I deconstruct the one at the end and build a wall in its place, will the floors collapse? That's what I want to know. Can the dwarves swap the two out fast enough to keep the floors from collapsing? Because if not, that's going to cause some chaos. But if so, that could be fun. Let's follow strange mood, kiddo, while I get that going. But still, like, you know, it's going to make reconstructing certain layers way easier, right? I know that at PAX West, when I asked Tarn about this, he said that his goal was to be able to use the material from the floor to construct the wall. So you'd, like, convert the floor tile into a wall tile, but I have no idea if that's going to be in the game. But yes, Raz, prayers answered. Most certainly. That'd be a dream come true. Certainly. I mean, like, being able to... I mean, also being able to designate multiple Z levels would be a dream come true, which I think we might be able to do now. That I'm not sure about. If they've done anything with making pump stacks easier to set up, no idea. But I'm assuming they will, like, they'll be easier to designate because you could just say, use same as last building, and I'm assuming it would use the same materials. So if you, like, because the way building works, I'm assuming that you can, like, set up the full set of layers of pump stacks And instead of having to like individually build each one of these all the way up and down and select the materials individually for each one of these all the way up and down, I'm assuming that you'll be able to like mass designate them once the space is carved out at the very least, which will be something. Yes, that is something that we'll be able to do, Lord Chuck. You want to be able to engrave built walls? Yeah, I don't know about that. You'll be listening to the Q&A to keep you calm. Have a good time at the dentist. It'll be better afterwards, I swear. Was it confirmed? Sweet. I mean, there's so much information about what is confirmed and what isn't. It's like, it's just everything. Everything, everywhere, all at once. That's a thing, right? Pretty sure that's a thing. That was a good movie, yes. All right, so we've got everything Kiddo needs for artifact. What'd they grab? Yak leather, cushions, clear zircon cabochons, raw green glass, unicorn leather, raw green glass, rough purple spinels, unicorn bone, and gabbro, and more gabbro. Let's gabber, bro. It's been a while since my local gabber enjoyer was in stream chat. Ryan, where are you? Let's do this and not demolish the stairs. Let's also knock out these extra wall pieces. Actually, no, we need to ramp these up. I think I dug too much. Yes, I did. I knocked out the wall. Whoopsies. That's fine. Can replace that. And then I need to knock out this. And this. And hopefully nobody gets hit by falling boulders. What could possibly go wrong? And then we have to dig around the outside of this. Hey, we got an iron vein. That's nice. Lignite vein. Multiples, in fact. Was the best movie? Many people have the gift of gab. Thanks for the $10, Raz. Cheers, man. Check, can I get a round of beers? Thanks, Raz. In 1 hour. Red, V. In 1 hour. Things just aren't happening back to back to back. So you got plenty of time to, you know, go get coffee, get a cookie, eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, brunch, Lunchables, whatever works. Did I just dig you? I'd swear that I didn't do that, but okay. Fine. I'll reconstruct you. You're spooning some peanut butter? Sounds pretty nummy. You're curious if llamas are going to get an actual person versions in the future? Based on the way Tarn sounded, it sounds like they want to add more specific animal wording to their descriptions, but an llama having a dwarf description is kind of hilarious. So I don't know. Seems like a bug. More of a bug than a feature, at least to me. But, you know, we'll see. But I've got nothing against, you know, llama descriptions being dwarfy. Curses! The Dwarven child has created Ozongeshud, a Gabbro figurine of dwarves, and claims it as a family heirloom in the name of the family ancestor Cog Borg-scaled. Board-scaled, not Borg. Although prepare to be assimilated. So Cog is, your marital grandfather. The item itself is, it's translates to Depressed Fortress. Depressed Fortress is a Gabbro figurine. All craft store ship is of the highest quality. The item is a masterfully designed image of dwarves in Gabbro by Curses. The dwarves are traveling. The artwork relates to the foundation of Longdeath by the eternal adventure of time and the ignited creation in the early spring of year 5. It is encrusted with baguette cut purple spindles and square brilliant cut clear zircons, and encircled with bands of rectangular Gabbro cabochons and unicorn leather. This object is adorned with hanging rings of Gabbro green glass and yak leather, and menaces with spikes of unicorn bone. On the item is an image of Namedrend, the decisive priest, in obsidian. The obsidian scepter in green glass. The decisive priest, the obsidian scepter in green glass. It's worth 73,200 zethal, or dwarf bucks, or dollars, or dollary dues, or whatever. Diggery dues? Sure. Hey, Erman. How are you? Also, sorry for not doing the hello everyone that I usually do at the start of the stream, but that was kind of a big raid, so it's a bit much. I'd be here for a minute. I figured it was good to just kind of get in. Start things up. Stones, sure. I mean, actually, I have a command for this. That's the fan reasons. Almost 300. I mean, we had like 500 a couple minutes ago. Like I said, it was kind of a big raid, but people drop off pretty quickly after raids. I kind of expect some people will pop back in though once interview starts. Oh right, yes, I can't play within Twitch chat. I have to tab back into the game in order for my commands to work naturally. I didn't actually need to remove this wall. This wall could have just stayed as is. That's fine, we can just replace that and cancel this last deconstruction. So we can play in the chat. There is a stream that had Twitch chat plays adventure mode for a bit, but just not enough people were taking part for it to really be worth it.
The nutrients, everything that's good about it, and just jam it full of shit, garbage, shit sugar, and put it in a shit bottle that sounds like shit when you put it on your shit. It's shit. Stop eating ketchup.
It's true. You should stop eating ketchup. Of course, all of those sounds and notifications and whatnot will be disabled during the interview itself, so use them while you can. All right, so while they're doing that, we're going to go up here and start. How do I want to do this? Let's actually just keep doing it the way I'm doing it. What am I building right now? I'm making an obsidian printer. I want to have ample access to obsidian in this fortress. And in order to do that, I'm trying to make... I've made obsidian printers before, but the way I've done them previously has been very different from this. So, just trying to futz around and make a way to have consistently large amounts of obsidian in the fort. That is what we are doing currently. And then I will have tons of obsidian and it'll be fun. Commands on deck. Hey, pilot. How was you? Q&A is in 54 minutes, approximately. Usually lasts for about an hour. To an hour and a half to 2 hours. Although we shouldn't take too much of Tarn's time, because he should be, you know, developing Dwarf Fort and not yelling at some influencer on the internet. Or content creator, as I prefer. Influencer just sounds dirty. Like, ew, influencing. Ugh. You made it out of meetings for the talk. Hell yeah. Screw meetings. Good to see you, Rory. Your dwarf's still alive, by the way. You're a sage, even. You're 98 years old. Almost at the big 3-0. Or two O's, I guess. The big 2-0. You don't hide yourself behind an unfeeling mask, he says. Felt satisfied at work. Felt funness remembering gaining a sibling. You have a lot of siblings. A lot of them are dead. You also have a lover. You're in love with Letharticus. Letharticus has 12 notable kills. Mass violence has been caused by Letharticus. Against humans, specifically. Fortunately, soul lovers. So, you know, maybe you guys will get married one day. Still young? Yeah, you're that's about 40 for a dwarf, I would say. Hey, Listless. All right, let's get this side done. Over here and over here. Yep, no one's fall. No one's fell yet. Still no falling? No falling. Hear that, dwarves? No falling. Falling is specifically against the rules. Gravity might be tempting, but trust me, you don't want it. It's a really bad way to go. I could be doing this way safer, but I'm kind of in a hurry. Yeah, okay. Also, generally, they will cancel digging out a tile if there's a dwarf standing there. Or if you're like this dwarf, you'll jump right as they delete the tile and then climb down the wall. All right. Good job there, dragon. I don't know why you went back up and out that way, but hey, if it works. Is this locked? No, it's not. Okay. Also, you okay there, Rory? Yeah, not even bruised. Just a little dazed. Looks fine. I mean, trust me, there's plenty of death in this fort. I'm just trying to actually make progress. Because I don't want this to be a boring stream. I mean, come on. We don't talk about that, Run Rusher. Stupid work kept you from the stream earlier. How'd it go? I think it went pretty well. I mean, the VOD will be going up, is available right now if you want it, and will be going up pretty quickly on YouTube as well. So, I think it went pretty well. As far as the talk with Tarn, that'll be happening in 50 minutes. Your dwarf can only fall in water and drown. That's because you didn't train them in swimming. Time to teach your dwarves swimming. It's not hard. You just need to partially waterboard them sometimes. Also, like, any dwarf can climb. It's a skill that they can learn. You should give me an early copy. They probably will. Just, as they say in that old children's songs, no, not yet. Once again, no, Sniffle. It'll be happening at 3 p.m. Pacific. It is currently 2:11 p.m. Pacific. So I can better a sister. I mean, I would sign all the paperwork and not say that I didn't have it, and like wouldn't tell anybody that I did have it, and wouldn't stream it, and would just do my best to help. But you know, if they gave it to me, they'd also have to give it to Sal. They'd have to give it to everybody else, and suddenly there's just like a whole bunch of people you have to give copies to. And you know, honestly, I think they're just waiting until a little bit closer to release. I wouldn't be surprised if I got an early copy, but you know, I won't be on their stream next week either. I will be streaming here. So, you know, it'll be Salford Sal on next week, and she's fantastic, so I'm sure it'll go fine. But like, yeah, there's realistically, until the game is ready to be shown to a public audience, there's no reason for them to give me a key. As much as I wish that wasn't the case, there is no real reason for them to give me a key. As nice as it would be. You know what, let's just... You know, actually, it's great. I can do this way. Yeah, just partially drown them. Constantly for a while. A many hours release stream? You mean like a really long day one stream? On my normal streams, currently, I stream Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. That schedule will be extended quite a bit once Premium's out. Probably to about 6 days a week, at least for 2 weeks. And probably go down to 5 days a week by late December, and then I'll go back to my original schedule, which is 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. I generally stream about 12 to 14 hours when I stream. So the question of, will you be doing a really long day one release stream? I will be doing a perfectly normal length stream for me, which is very long for most people. So email them, Golly. That's how I did it the first time. You know, it's really funny, like, people ask me, they're like, how do you get all these opportunities? I ask. Like, literally, like, that's how all of these interviews started in the first place, was I sent them a DM and asked. It's just ask. That's how all of my interviews get set up. I ask. How long do you think it would be for someone to see all assets? You've never seen Turtle Man? I mean, I saw a cave dragon in Dwarf Fortress last week for the first time in like 10 years of playing this game. I will be streaming the graphical version. But I will be adding, I haven't decided if I'm going to charge money for it or not, but I will probably be adding a rather expensive channel point redemption. Also, speaking of channel points, investments are open for those of you who care. I probably will be adding a rather pricey channel point redemption to force me to play ASCII for 5 minutes or something. Because I like ASCII. ASCII cool. But I will be streaming the other thing. 3 p.m. Pacific. It's 2:15 Pacific is the interview. Currently, it's 2:15, so in 45 minutes. Which I'm trying to get this obsidian printer done before that. So, speedrunning obsidian. Let's go. Speaking of. And this isn't the first time we've done talks like this. I've done quite a few of these in the past with Bay 12, and they are going to continue post-premium. Like, it's just kind of something that we've been doing, and they've been great for me on this channel, and I think Tarn has fun doing them, and I think Zach's had fun doing them, so it's, for me, the reason I started doing them originally was I used to listen to DF Talk, which was the old podcast that they used to have talking about Dwarf Fortress, which was monthly. And I loved that thing. And, you know, then the guys that hosted it, you know, got lives and grew up and started companies and had kids and families and all that. So they've gotten busy and just haven't had time for video games as much as they used to. So I really wanted a replacement for DF Talk, so I went and made one. Because that's the kind of person that I am. It's like, I want something, I make it. So I wanted a replacement for DF Talk, so I made a replacement for DF Talk. Or a successor, or whatever. Put a timer on the screen? It's, like, for whatever it's worth. I could put it in the title. I don't like having more stuff on the screen than needed. There we go. It's now in the title. What is this? A do you not have phones kind of situation? No, I know what you mean. But I mean, it's like literally, I spent 4 hours last night going through questions and setting up a doc. Like I filed down a list of about 300 questions down to about 35. What am I building? I'm building an obsidian generator. I want to make obsidian. Since survival is a solved problem and you're peaceful, do you encounter fewer goofy stories at this point? It's a lot of interpersonal stories. I mean, like, there's an example of a relatively recent one where I had a dwarf, and her husband was kind of tantrumy and mean and angry. That dwarf got sent to prison, and let's just say that my captain of the guard got a little too strong and accidentally sort of kind of maybe beat that dwarf to death. Anyway, literally seconds after that dwarf was beaten to death, the, I guess, widowed wife of that dwarf married the mayor, which is kind of a funny story if you think about it, and then immediately had kids. So that happened. Stuff like, I mean, it's much more mundane stuff. It's less, or like, you know, I was building a thing and then a dwarf falls like through multiple Z levels and then just walks it off. Stuff like that. So we've as a community on this channel, we've been describing this fortress as kind of like a Dwarf Fortress soap opera. It's like, yeah, it's pretty slow, but when stuff happens, it's usually just interpersonal stuff and relationship stuff, and it's very funny. We are technically at war. We're at war with humans. Our very longtime friends, the Confederacy of Sport, unfortunately made the dumb decision of invading us. So I turned them all into Pop-Tarts when they show up. But yes, this fort is a little slow. I'm playing this fort today because, like, you know, I need to cover top. Why do I have metal doors? The fuck? Weird. I don't know where I got metal doors from. I've never made metal doors in this fort. Must have been given to us by the humans. I don't think so. I mean, I'll get used to it. I mean, it'll certainly be a learning curve initially, but I don't see why it would. Like, if it does make it harder for me to stream for long times, I will adjust my monitor settings and make it work, right? Like, this is my job, so it's one of those, if it doesn't work, I'll make it work kind of thing. There's a diplomacy screen? Oh, yeah. Hit C and then hit C a second time. And you can see all the fortress, all the factions. Like, let's select the Drada Faladudis, which is a kobold faction. This land has no important leaders. They export petty annoyance to us, and we offer them death in response. And we have no political agreements with that land. And, of course, they have no important leaders. But let's just say the Council of Men, right? Their leader, their lord/merchant, is Tal Rosiga, and they import nothing and offer us nothing. And we offer them nothing. And we accept their tribute every autumn. And we have no agreements with that land. And we're not at war with them. Yes. I have coloboma of the retina and the iris in both eyes. My left eye has severe tunnel vision, but has some functional vision with floating blind spots. And my right eye, and also my left eye has trouble focusing on things. My right eye doesn't work at all. I can detect light with it, but that's about it. I'm totally fine with people asking me about my eyes. The line I kind of draw is when people start talking about cures and transplants, because TLDR, no, there isn't a cure. No, there's no such thing as eye transplants. And no, there's no way to fix it. Yes, it's getting worse. Yes, it sucks. It's my life. Don't worry about it. I'll get by. That's kind of where I'm at on it. It's just like, yeah, yes, it sucks and it's sad, but, you know, it's my life. It is genetic, yes. It's a genetic birth defect. If you go back in my family, I had a great grandpa who couldn't see, who was blind. But you know, like 150 years ago, what the fuck did we know about how eyes work? Knew the lore matched the name, yes. I mean, the name was a self-deprecating joke that I made in 2009, and it stuck. And, you know, the reality of, you know, usernames is you don't always end up with the username you want. You end up with the username that you picked. For longevity, limit your population, don't go to war with people, destroy items you don't need, only make what you need. That's basically it. I never avoid nobles' mandates. Always, 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 always listen to your nobles' mandates. Unless, like, you're specifically theming a fort around fucking over your nobles, always obey the nobles' mandates. And the reason is, everybody complains, they're like, Dwarf Fortress needs a therapist job. That's literally your mayor. That's their job. Dwarves go and cry on the mayor, and it gives them a happy thought. So, I've never intentionally killed a noble, with the exception of one that was a were creature. Nobles are extremely useful. So make them their damn socks or whatever they want you to make. I've never, never do that. Nobles are an important psychological resource for your dwarves. Keep them alive. Treasure them. Give them what they need. Theme your fortresses around them. Look at their thoughts and their personalities and do what that leader would want you to do. If that leader's a warmonger, go fuck up some humans. If that leader really wants peace, trade with the elves. If that leader really likes socks, make a lot of socks. Make a statue of socks. Make engravings of socks on their walls, and then when they die, put all of the socks that they demanded into their coffin chamber with them and seal it off and let them rot. So, you know, make a statue out of them. Make a statue of them out of socks, exactly. Write their name on the floor in sock stockpiles, so there's a pattern of socks, and then forbid them there. And then remove the stockpile, so their name is written in socks on the floor. Like, no, seriously, take care of your nobles. I've had multiple kings in this fortress. One of them made me make, I shit you not, okay, so I think most of them are gone at this point. Yes, they are all gone at this point. So this entire area that my screen is covering was full of ballista arrows at one point, because I had a king that kept, it was like clockwork. It was like twice a season, 3 ballista arrows. And the guy lived for 150 years. So it was just ballista arrows, ballista arrows. Ballista arrows, 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 ballista arrows. Yeah, I never actually used any of the ballistas. I used them, I had some target practice to shoot kings for a while, but any updates in that regard? I'm assuming that'll be siege update, which will be in a while. 35 minutes. I'm actually going to make a group chat in the background quietly. But yeah, no, when you have nobles, treasure them and take advantage of them, because they are an incredibly powerful asset. Also, another thing about having nobles, if you have a baron or a king in your fortress and there are humans nearby or elves nearby, not just dwarves. So when your dwarves come to trade with you, right, they give you options of what you would like to purchase from them. If you have a royal in your fort, i.e. a king, a queen, or a baron, they will send the royal treasurer or the elf equivalent, which I can never remember the name of. And they will allow you to specify what you want to import. So you can get specific imports from humans, you can get specific imports from elves, and that is extraordinarily useful. So you know how I'm like, oh yeah, no, you can like just buy giant elephants from elves. It's like, sure, you can ask them specifically to import those. And that is also a very useful thing and a reason to keep nobles around. What? Turns out I've got too many bridges in this fort. That might actually be all of them. Nope, there's one more. That's all of them. I actually have a mountain home without the king right now in my other fort, which I'm not entirely sure what it wants me to do. Usually I think that means that your king's actually a servant to some villain. You're new to DF and you want to make shortcuts to locations, so how can you you can quickly view from one from another? That's under the hotkeys menu, which I always forget how that works because I never use it. I usually use dwarves to jump around. Capital H. Assuming. Aim, zoom here. I mean, that's... To be completely honest, I don't know how this menu works. Because I don't use it. But capital H, and then you use the hotkey menu. As for how the hotkey menu works, chat could probably tell you. Because I never use it. What happens next? Does their heir become the monarch? If they have a child, their heir becomes the monarch. In this world, their child did become the monarch, but I expelled their child for murdering multiple people. So the king of my faction right now is actually like kind of a bad person. Who's Radio Free Olive, who's the King's Scholar. Yeah. Use the F keys to select a slot, and then Z key to zoom here. There you go. So I guess H. So I guess we do like F2, and then Z. So now if I hit F2, it'll take me back there. There you go. There is a king, yes. He's just not in the fort right now. I mean, this isn't technically a mountain home. This is a village because we've never had enough population to be a mountain home. So we're just waiting on the construction of some triggers. So we'll just follow Hoshan while he does that. Well, happy to be able to help. Okay, Zang. Have I staved off cave adaptation, or is that still an issue? I've never really found it to be a major issue. The kids tend to get cave adaptation because they like to hang out in their bedrooms, and then they leave the bedrooms and just vomit on the floor a whole bunch. But they seem to get over it by their mid-20s. In this fort, anyway. But I'll just say that also in the version after this, cave adaptation got toned down a bunch. Like a lot of things got toned down. Stress got toned down. It's easier to keep your dwarves happy. Cave adaptation got toned down. Like a lot of things got toned down right all around the same time. What? Sorry, Twitch just offered me a weird thing, and I'm very perplexed by it. I just received a message from Twitch. 4 months of Adobe Express Premium, whatever that means. I already pay for Adobe Suite, but that's kind of neat. Just a little? Only just a little. Diamond. But no, the mountain home's actually like just a bunch of scattered huts. Truly. Also, I just want to say Diamond Gremlin for Mayor is above 50 followers. We're at 54. So don't forget to vote Gremlin. Gremlin just wants to pull levers. He's good at it. Next goal is 100 followers for Gremlin for Mayor. All right. Is there somebody else working on those? Yep. Rory took over. Nope, that's Stone. Gonna pull 10 ads every 4 mins? That, I mean, that would be something a gremlin would do, wouldn't it? View count goes from 5 to 0. It's just gremlin lurking in gremlins on the stream going, God damn it. Plan didn't work. Yeah, that's something that I've been doing a lot of soul searching recently because Twitch has been pushing ads so much, and making it beneficial in almost every way to schedule ads. It's like with premium coming out, it's like I might actually schedule ads for a month. 1, don't run out of alcohol. 2, dig deep before building anything. Military as close to entrance as possible. 3, pause once in a while and think of that. 3 things that I wish I knew when I started. The problem is when so the first time I played Dwarf Fortress was in 2009, but I wouldn't say I actually got good enough at the game to like even build bedrooms until like 2013, because my learning curve with this game was really slow. But I wish I knew there was a wiki. That's what I wish. That's the main thing. Second thing, I wish that I knew that dwarves didn't need water and needed booze instead. And third thing that I wish that I knew, I wish that I knew that you didn't actually need to fiddle with the entirety of the military screen. Nope, random viewer. Hey, cutest. Hope you're doing well. No, I didn't, Uncle Gus. No, I didn't. I slowly bashed my head at it against it over the years, and then I found the wiki in I think about 2016. But by that point, I'd gotten good enough at the game that I could like generate a world and build a couple bedrooms and like keep the dwarves alive for half a year, and then they'd starve to death. And then I found the wiki, and then I started learning the game and started streaming at the end of mid 2018. So it took me like 9 years to learn Dwarf Fort. So no, I would not say that I'm like a champion. But right now I would say is the easiest time to ever learn Dwarf Fortress, just because of like the number of people making YouTube videos about the game, and also like just the completeness of the wiki. It's the easiest time ever to learn Dwarf Fortress right now. Why'd you suspend that? Is it because you can't reach it? Nope. 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 Okay. So it's literally that one that they're waiting on. Okay, well, let's follow. What did I eat today? A bowl of oatmeal. Can anyone learn DF completely? I mean, I learned dwarves don't have fingers yesterday, so, or don't have thumbs yesterday, just 5 fingers. I had oatmeal with blackberries that I froze because I picked it was like 4 kilograms of blackberries over the summer and froze them all. So I'm just like slowly working through my frozen blackberries. So I had oatmeal with blackberries and almond milk. Yeah, but Tarn probably doesn't play the game as much as I do. Tarn makes the game. He doesn't play the game. I mean, Zach plays the game, right? All right, so is this all done? All right, sweet. Let's pull this lever. I don't know why they canceled that one briefly, but whatever. Doop-a-doop-a-doop, doop-a-doop-a-doop. Get over here and pull the lever. There you go. Uh-oh. Never mind. Don't pull the lever. Don't pull the lever. Don't pull the lever. Don't do it. Suspend that. We've got dwarves in places they shouldn't be. What did you even... Oh, I see. Close this door. Tarn program, Zach test, and write. But honestly, I'm not in their working space, so I don't really know. But Tarn does most of the programming. Right, dwarves, you got one job. Don't get stuck in here. They're going to get stuck in here. I'll just suspend the last one if they're going to get stuck in there. Do it now. Pull the lever. While that dwarf walks slow. I did actually know that. There we go. The drawbridges disappear. Let's make this a hotspot, shall we? Let's forbid a couple doors. Turn the lava on. Doop da doop da dup da doop. Dibbity dup. And the lava starts pouring, which lands down here. Will crushing the lava make the obsidian? No, so I'm using the drawbridge as like a separator. The drawbridge is going to stop the water from pouring directly onto it and block steam and other things. Basically, I'm making I'm making this unnecessarily fancy, essentially. All right, so we'll let that do that. Pull that lever. Blocking flow of lava. I'm not sure how they would do that or how they would get in there because there's no way for them to get in there. You unsuspend that, please. So that was the wrong lever. That's fine. That's the lever I wanted to pull. Let's pull that bridge lever again as well. Yeah, well, that works. Lava up here gonna fall. 5, 4, 3, 2, doop. There it goes. Now I just need the other lever to be pulled. Volleyball is coming to pull. Is the lava flowing from above down into a pit? Yes. It's flowing from that big thing right above it, from up here, down into here. And now it's no longer flowing. It's going to stop momentarily. Also, I'm noticing a problem. But should be fine. I need this lava here to drain. I don't like that the lava ends up over there. It's actually kind of a problem to a point where I need to go over here and fix it. So I'm actually going to send a dwarf to dig around the edge of this to over here. I need to remove a tile. Shouldn't be much effort though. Elves are here to trade. I might trade with them this time. I might not. But I think I will just queue stuff up. Just to give you an idea of how fast this game can go once you know what you're doing. This is why people like me were hesitant initially when we heard that they were swapping from keyboard control to mouse control, because it's like, you can play this game ridiculously fast. Like, ridiculously fast. Okay, let's just get this done. Lava is dispersing. No, but it is down. So, hacked, no, but down, yes. Or decide to stop and go get a drink. Turn evil to gray on world gen? Wait, what do you mean? I mean, necromancers are evil by default, but when they turn to gray, it means that they've been defeated. It means another faction came in and killed them, basically. This will speed up this process. Congratulations on acquiring a pizza. Bolus. May I ask what flavor of pizza you have acquired? Preferably pizza flavor, but, you know, spicy. Well, like a spicy sausage kind of thing? Spicy sauce? Spicy peppers on top? Share with the class? Yeah, bring enough. Did you bring enough for everybody? That's an emote. Padinsky. Menaces with circles of pie flavor. There you go. I have a pie. Ooh, what flavor? Pie flavor. You need to cut it very thin. Ah, yeah. But yeah, my whole goal for today is to just simply complete this and make sure everybody's good to go. And we can start up the interview. Although I will need to take another toilet break before we start. Been drinking too much coffee. So, that's what, 1 deep, so it shouldn't spread? Yep, 1 deep, so it won't spread. That, okay, I guess good timing for that. So there's a room on my Discord called the Add a Word Stories where you can add words and then make me read them. If you want to join my Discord, here's a room to join it. But I will be scrolling up and then reading Fox jumps like alarm blaring trucks. Radical red inventory resupply snacks. Tasty straws fill drinks with new energy powers, and vast fields of synthetic turf encapsulate earth beings of flesh. Spoken word. We're all caught up. Fortunately, the dwarves got stuff done in the background. You can take Mudstone and put it there. No. In the next update after the premium release will be Villains Part 2 / Adventure Mode. After that is Sieges / map rewrite, whenever that happens. And then after that is Magic. Like, Magic's not for a long time. Which is why, like, whenever people ask me about Magic, I'm just like, I don't even. It's far away. Long time. We don't need to worry about that yet. Is interview soon? 15 minutes. We're just currently waiting on co-host who's stuck in traffic, as per you. Although for me personally, I'm just waiting for that lava to disappear. You're just waiting for the reintroduction of coin-based economy? What about radical communism? Could I interest you in that? Less CPU processes needed. No. Touche. Next one is adventure mode and zones, which are both the same in your eyes. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, during World Gen, but all that stuff gets disabled as soon as you get into as soon as you get past World Gen, right? All right, I'm gonna make a Reddit thread about this, which I will delete. Oh, never mind. Clino beat me to it. Don't even need to. Excellent. Thank you, Clino. And also, what up, Dom BTs? Clino's the best? Yeah. They should be paying him. That's how I feel about Clino. All right, so I'm literally just waiting on this to disappear, which actually, I guess I could. Literally just waiting for some lava to dry up, and then I can pour water. Rested? Question mark and ready? Well, that's good. I'm gonna go take a real quick toilet break, actually, and then I will begin prep. Back in a sec. If you're curious about the stupidity that is this fortress, just type in ! Longdeath. Because it is ludicrous how long this fortress has been alive. Q&A is in 10 minutes, approximately. So, just a reference to any subscribers that pay me money on Patreon that want to use sound commands, use them now because I'm currently disabling them. That was weird. Streamlabs appeared to be down for a second there, which would have been bad. Anyone got that cheese? Probably. Or that boom, 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 or a resub, which is about to be disabled. How does one deal with FPS death surviving that long? Literally, FPS death isn't an issue. Hasn't been an issue for a long time. Unless you lock cats in rooms or get a military dwarf stuck in a tree and then tell them to leave the map, literally nothing in this game will cause FPS death unless you just have repeating construction jobs on indefinitely forever. So there is no real thing called FPS death in Dwarf Fortress, which annoys people when I say that, but it's true. Or yeah, if you're using a computer from 2004, you know, that might run poorly. Everybody goes on about, so like there was a great thread on the subreddit a little bit ago, which is, okay, if you use default settings, there is no such thing as frame rate death. The game will slow down, but think about it this way, Remo. In City Skylines, if you just play the game on the default settings, the game runs fine, right? If you mod the game to have 78 tiles, yeah, it's gonna run like shit. So if you play the game using default settings, it'll run fine. Assuming you're not locking cats in rooms, which is like the one weird error in Dwarf Fortress's history that causes problems like that, right? So as long as you're not doing things that the game isn't intended to do, it'll run. It'll just run really slowly, but FPS death means like your frame rate stops, period. and never continues, or like maybe 1 frame a minute. Yes, we need to convince Intel to make a Dwarf Fortress specific. I mean, if Dwarf Fortress sells 55 million copies, I think Intel would be like more than willing to make such a processor, in fact. So, you know, we just need to sell, you know, 50 million copies, and then clearly Intel will jump at the opportunity to make a processor specifically for Dwarf Fort. Let's make some obsidian. What's FPGA? Long story. FPGA is basically mimicking processor cores, and you use it to create portable versions of computers. There we go. Water come down. Water go in here. I almost thought... I've been thinking for a while about maybe putting together a Mister one day. So I know a little bit about FPGA. Little bit. Also, as always, thanks for the crazy amount of follows today. Cheers, guys. All right. So that water is going to spread. All of my notifications are now off. Or should be off. Just make it single core. No, dual core. One for the graphics, one for the game. It would be hilarious. I mean, like, here's the thing about Dwarf Fortress, right? It's a game that'll run literally on anything, more or less. It just won't run well on anything. And every single version of the game runs better, and frame rate death really hasn't been an issue in like 5 to 6 years. But anyway, like I was saying, there was a thread on the Dwarf Fortress subreddit which really struck home with me, which was, what's something you hate about Dwarf Fortress? You know what I hate about Dwarf Fortress, chat? Is how old memes confuse new players. And FPS death is one of those. Like, carp is, like, you know, a good example as well. So is cats dying in taverns. But, like, those are funny. But things that people reference about Dwarf Fortress that used to be problems that have been long fixed irritate the hell out of me as somebody who has to help people learn this game all the time. Because a lot of these a lot of these issues are solved problems, right? And I just wish that more people would realize that that they're solved issues. Like, they're no longer things that you need to worry about on a daily basis when you're playing Dwarf Fort. But unfortunately, very few people like actually test them. So yeah, exactly. You stop worrying about it. Just don't produce 50 bajillion blocks and you'll probably be fine. Yeah, because people play Minecraft, so people know that those bugs are no longer relevant, right? The difference is people talk about Dwarf Fortress. Not very many people play Dwarf Fortress, right? If more people played Dwarf Fortress and less people talked about Dwarf Fortress, this wouldn't be an issue. But because people talk about Dwarf Fortress and not play Dwarf Fortress, it's an issue. Question, how long has this fort been running in real life? I started in August 2020. Stop playing the prepackaged version of Dwarf Fortress you downloaded in 2015. That too. I mean, there was somebody in this chat once who bought a physical disc copy of Dwarf Fortress from a used bookstore for $50 that came with a very bootleg box of Dwarf Fortress, including the O'Reilly book on how to play Dwarf Fortress. So we're about to dump all this water down onto here. So yeah, no, somebody did that once, and it was like, from what we could tell, in the mid 30s version. So like a version from like pre-2014. So now that I've created a bunch of Steam, and also by connection a bunch of Obsidian, it's time to save the game. We're gonna go talk about the Steam version. It's going to hopefully make the game a bit more easily accessible and less confusing to what version to play. Yes, but we as the older community need to not talk about frame rate death because it's not an issue. Plays version of game from 2007. Why is it not 3D? What? The entire die is just getting as much error as possible. Sure, Sax. Those are words. All right. Chat room, guess what?